So, finally time for another LP after yet another period of just lack of motivation and laziness. I'm kind of at the point where I feel like I need to apologize for this because this continues to happen between LPs. I should just be done with one LP and cracking on to the next one pretty much the week after I'm finished an LP, but it just never actually happens. It didn't exactly help either that I had a channel transition in this process, so kind of just have to make do with what I've got. But I think I'm about ready to get started on this next LP now, so we'll just go ahead and run the game. So, in the video I uploaded announcing my channel transition, I did say that I had an LP planned. This actually wasn't the LP that I was planning on doing, it was actually Quake that I was going to do. But then the Steam Autumn Sale took place and I found this for 30% off and decided to pick it up. Just because I wanted to also include the 5th episode in my LP, since most LPs were done long before this, so... And if we go back, actually, you can select any level you want. I don't think you can pick at any of the secret levels, but I sort of had a plan sorted out for those. That'll be a different thing altogether, but for the sake of making this LP a bit different from a bunch of the others that have already on YouTube, because I imagine this is probably one of the more LP'd games on YouTube just because of how good it is. It's very much a... I'm not too sure if I'd call it revolutionary in the sense of Doom, but it is still quite a noteworthy game in the 90s era, just in general. So, what I've actually decided I'm going to do, it's not really that relevant for this first level, because it's the first level of the game. You're always going to start off with nothing more than a pistol, but I'm actually going to be doing a pistol start for every single... did I blow that up? Yes, I did. Yeah. I'm going to be actually doing every single level in this game on a pistol start. And you might be wondering, okay, well that explains your... I guess, like, that you can switch, that you can choose any level you want to start on except the secret levels. For the secret levels, I'm probably just going to, assuming I have a explosive weapon of some variety, I'm probably just going to use that, blow myself up, and restart the level from scratch. And just obviously have my obligatory pistol start. This just adds a bit more challenge. I've not actually done this game on Come Get Some either, so that's going to be another element of challenge to this game, because this game is actually pretty damn hard. You can't rocket jump in this game because any explosive just about kills you in one hit, and I don't think you get much momentum from blowing yourself up anyway, especially with the RPG, because that's just an instant kill if you blow it up near yourself. So we're not going to bother with that at all. The damage output by most enemies is pretty damn high. You can just sort of have 50% of your health ripped out by one of the pig cops, which is... I mean, I don't think I need to describe what a pig cop looks like. It's a pig in a police uniform. They're probably the most famous enemy in the entire game, so there you go. These idiots, though, are kind of like the zombie men of the playthrough. I'm going to end up making a lot of comparisons to Doom, and that's just... I mean, I can avoid it, but it just sort of... You kind of just have to expect that from me, because I like to make these sorts of comparisons. The assault troopers and the guys in the orange are the assault captains. The only real difference is that the captains can teleport, which is very weird. I don't know if they're able to telefrag you using this. I think I might have been in one situation where one of those guys teleported right on my position, but I think he was the one that got blown up, so... Or telefragged, so to speak. So I think I'm safe from any of that bullshit, because it would be very annoying if I... No, it actually wouldn't be very annoying if I died. Let me just show this off. Oh, hang on. Yeah, you can just rewind time if you want, and just go back to this point if you so choose. Okay, did not intend to get any use out of the steroids there. Yes, this game has an inventory system if you didn't already know that. And of course, one of the items that you can have in your inventory is just a bottle of steroids. Bottle of steroids makes you go really, really fast, and I believe it also increases the strength of your melee kick attack, which is accessed either by pressing the 1 key or by just using the... it wasn't the tilde key, was it? Yeah, no, it was this one. Just use the Q key. It's the default setting on this source port. Cannot use the shotgun yet, but once I pick up those 2 boxes of shells, then I can. Alright, there we go. That's a bit better. Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of stuff in this first episode. This pretty much follows the same convention of you get the first episode as shareware, and then you have to get the other episodes by getting a registered version of the game. And so you're only going to get the first 6 weapons of the game. I've got all of them bar 1. I know where to get the 4th one, and I actually can go and get it now that I think about it. I'll just go out, run out there, deal with that. Now if I can find the J key... oh shit. Okay, F, G, H, J. Okay, thank God. Yeah, the problem with my keyboard is the clicking and clacking and shit like that, like it was with my pretty much now non-existent Doom 2016 LP, which is the last one I did on my other channel. And, can you open this? Yes, you actually can. I've never actually come in here from the back like this. I always wondered how that blew up, because I actually didn't know how it did. There's got to be like some kind of trigger that you step on it and that thing just blows up. Which is kind of cool, I guess. I mean, not if you're bloody close enough to it that you get damaged, which is usually what happens, because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go down here, go up into this arcade with this pig cop, blow that up, because that gets rid of all the enemies in this room, and then you just hit the access card, and then you go in there, and then that does that. I just sort of did that completely out of order though, so... oh well. Missing a few enemies. Oh yeah, I know what they are. You are one of them, and the other 2 are actually up here in the form of these turrets. These can be annoying if you let them be, but it usually takes 1 or 2 shotgun blasts to get rid of them anyway. Okay. Yeah, the jetpack is pretty much your best friend. It lets you sequence break so much shit in this game. You have absolutely no idea. It's just a shame that I'm not actually getting any further use out of this, because every time I finish a level, I have to go and do this.
Come get some.
We'll get used to it eventually, but such is the nature of the challenge condition. So there I am shooting at one of those weird planes, which I really shouldn't be doing, because I kind of want to conserve ammo going into this. I know where to get a shotgun in this level, thankfully, and it's not from this pig cop. The pig cops can drop anywhere from 1 to 4 rounds. The instruction manual says it depends on how many shots the pig cop has fired. I'm not entirely sure if that has any sort of influence on it. It probably does, but I'm not entirely sure if that's quite accurate. So I believe I picked up a Holoduke in the previous level, unless I just skipped over that secret. I don't think I did. I think I got all the secrets. But the Holoduke is pretty much what you would expect it to be. If I can find the H key. A, S, D, F, G, H. Yeah, there it is. Holographic copy of yourself. Designed to fool the enemies. It's not very practical though. You will never ever see me use it outside of this unless I accidentally hit the H key without knowing. Pipe bombs are absolutely excellent. You just get to lay them down, you get to use them as traps, you get to use them to blow up bits of wall like this. Blowing up level geometry was a bit of a big deal in this game because you were never able to do that before. Such as the marvel of Ken Silverman's build engine. There's a pair of night vision goggles. They do exactly what they say on the tin as well. And if I can find the bracket keys, yeah, there we go. There I can switch between any of my active inventory items. There are 7 items in the inventory. The other 4 will come around eventually. And now that I think about it, the next level, which is not going to be in this segment, I don't think. It might. Actually, no, it's a bit of a long level, so I'll probably reserve it for its own segment. Because you start that level with nothing, there's no point in actually going into it with a pistol start. Unless you're allowed to keep your inventory, in which case I may have to reset for that. I don't think you do, though. I think you lose literally everything, so for the next level it'll be fine. Now let's remember this time to pick up the... Oh, I did. I outthought myself. How excellent. So these things here are called recon patrol vehicles, and I am shooting at them with what the in-game refers to as the chain gun cannon, at least when you pick it up. It has a much better name. It is also called the Ripper. It's just a far better... That's just a far better name in general because, I mean, come on, Ripper. That is an excellent name for a weapon. Because it kind of does pretty much just force enemies into a pain flint, which is good for the pig cop because they can rip chunks out of your health. It's... Yeah, it is not... They don't like you, and so they'll just sort of rip your health to pieces. Come on. Don't want to fall apart in commentary at this point in the game. Now, do I have something to blow up the pickup in there? Yes, I do. Did that work? Not at all. I mean, it did some damage, so I only needed the 1 shotgun blast. I guess that's another challenge as well, is because if you have so much ammo for a weapon and then you find out, oh, well, that's just great, we can't use it because we've finished the level and we don't get any of that stuff for the next level. That sort of thing. That's why I'm kind of just spamming the shit out of the RPG at the moment, because I'm going to lose it. Like, even if I wasn't doing the challenge condition, I was going to lose it going into the next level anyway. And there's an Octobrain, which we're just going to shoot the shit out of. And since we only have the RPG, it seems, we're just going to have to blow shit up with the RPG. We've got some pipe bombs, though. And did I get the atomic health from here? Yes, I did. Thankfully, that shelf, whatever the hell it was there, had a jetpack so I could fly up out of there. There is another way to get in there, and it's just in here past where this yellow door is. And here we have a pool table. This pool table is excellent. You can actually play with it. You can't get back any balls that you've sunk, though, so if you sink the white ball, you're basically screwed. And you walk up to this toilet, and this door unlocks, which leads us to that sewer from earlier. So, interactivity with the environment, and not just in a way that involves blowing shit up. Blowing shit up is the best way, but to be able to mess around with the pool balls like this is quite nice. Usually I do waste the time to sink all the balls, and I'm probably not going to do that, just to somewhat shorten the length of the segment here. So there's the Assault Captain's PITD device in action. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but I know that's what the letters are for it, at least. Lots of shells, lots of just random females, which you can tip off. If you're expecting political correctness in this game, then what the hell have you been smoking? And to top things off, of course, thank God it didn't blow up that pig cop right next to me, or else I would have probably had my shit fucked. Not that deaths matter. Once again, I have to reiterate this because of the time reversing the time displacement system. We'll just call it that, shall we? But yeah, we're kind of in a strip club now. This whole level is just one gigantic sexual reference, because the first area we were in was a porno shop, and now we're in a strip club. If you're playing the Nintendo 64 port of this game, this entire area is completely reworked in that the porno shop becomes a gun shop, and I guess the magazines are just intended to be gun magazines or something like that. And this strip club turns into like the loading dock for a Duke burger, because Duke apparently has his own restaurant that apparently uses dog meat. We won't be talking about this that much more until the 4th episode, when we actually get to the relevant level. But apparently their burgers have dog meat in them. I would say it's some kind of a reference to the, what do you call it, the whole horse meat thing, but I don't think the horse meat thing happened until a long time afterward. I do not know anything about that whole horse meat scandal thing, so do not come to me for knowledge about that. So, nice little thing with the 64 port is that there's just this random crate, and if you stand on it, this wall opens up to reveal the first secret exits of the 64 port. And the funny thing is, it's actually the Duke Burger level that I was mentioning earlier. Yeah, they kind of take some of the episode 4 levels and make them secret levels in this game. In the 64 port. I don't know what the hell I'm on about there. But yeah, the reason I don't really give a shit about resetting here is because you shoot those guys. Missed a couple of secrets, but who gives a shit? Well, I was actually going to show it off here, but I figured you might as well wait until next segment. Not that anybody really has much of a reason to care. Where the hell's my mouse? Okay, whatever, you get to see it.
Let's rock.
Whatever. Yeah, point is... Okay, let's just end the segment like that, shall we? Wait a sec. Oh. Okay, so I have started the level and immediately got myself killed. Did I have, like, no health left at the end of that? Or something? Because that makes no sense. Yeah, I started the level with 16 health. Okay, so I guess we are going to have to just start from death row here. But you now understand why I didn't give a shit about restarting it initially, but I kind of have to because I just sort of auto-die. So that's that. So next time we're going to get through death row and we're going to go and get our arsenal back and then immediately lose it again, because that's the nature of this LP. So see you for that.